Shadcn UI has a built-in command line tool, CLI, to automate some tasks. The available commands are init, add, and diff. Init initializes Shadcn UI in an existing project. The add component installs Shadcn UI component to a project, and the diff command checks for updates against the component registry. The easiest way to run the CLI is with npx. If you have npm installed, you should already have npx. So call npx inside the news folder, call npx Shadcn UI at latest, add navigation menu. It's a component from Shadcn UI that we're going to use in this project. Great. The add command is responsible for installing a component from the registry to the project. You can also go ahead and copy paste the components manually from the docs if you'd like, but it takes a bit more time than running the command. The command is also responsible for installing any dependencies and the components themselves. You can use it the way we've seen. After the command finishes, you should see a new file under the UI folder. Let's add the card component. npx Shadcn UI at latest, add card. Now you should see done being printed in the console. Go back to the UI folder, click on the card, and here is the card source code. Now to validate that the installation finished successfully, let's go to app/page.tsx and change everything inside into a card. Remove everything that you see, import the card component, and render it with a class name of p4. Heading 4. Change the class name here to mxauto, empty8, and max with Excel. And add an h1 with class name text large and hello world. This is the Shadcn UI hello world. You can remove the imports. And then let's validate it. Run npm run dev in your favorite terminal. And then open cat. And then open the local URL in your browser. If everything was successful, you should see this page and a hello world card rendered inside the browser. The diff command allows viewing a list of the current project installed component that have been updated in the registry. Let's run the following command: npx Shadcn UI at latest diff. The output should look something like the following. The following components have updates available, and then a list of them. Right now we see the button one. We can call the diff command with the component to see the actual changes. Here we can now see the difference between the registry one and the one that we have installed. We can update it if we want with the add command. The init command is responsible for initializing Shadcn UI inside an existing project. You can run it with the npx Shadcn UI at latest init. I've created a new Next application in my terminal, and then I'm running the Shadcn UI at latest init command. Running the command will present a list of questions. The CLI will add Shadcn UI to the project based on the responses. Which style would you like to use? Which color? Would you like to use CSS variables? And then it will install the required dependencies like Radix UI, Next themes, and TailwindCSS. It will create the configuration files for TailwindCSS and Shadcn UI. You can see them here. It will add a cn util inside lib/utils like we have in the template, and the required CSS variables in the globals.css file. The init command creates a components.json file, and it is the de facto Shadcn UI configuration file. Under the hood, Shadcn UI uses the file to determine the project setup based on the init command answers. As Shadcn UI users, it can be used to configure and tweak the library behavior. It probably won't need to be changed very often, but just in case, here are some properties that you can control using the component.json file. The style property, which is the component styles, either default or New York. We're going to learn more about it in the first module. The Tailwind, which is the configuration related to Tailwind, the config, the CSS file, the base color, and more. The TSX, which is whether to use the TypeScript component, and RSC, whether React server components are supported. There are also aliases defined.